before we get into this morning's live, we have a lot to talk about. First off, it's 8:56 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here as my clocks went forward overnight. So although it might seem like I'm here ultra early, which it kind of is, our clocks did move forward. So now the daily close tonight will be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the USA. So it'll be slightly different. So when we look at that 7 o'clock daily close, it's going to be slightly off tonight because it'll be at 8 o'clock. So we'll be a little bit ahead of everything now. So like when you see me in the morning, especially from the other side of the world, you're going to get the information just a little bit sooner because it's going to be an hour sooner. We push the clocks forward, which is something we do here in the USA. Then we move them back, push them forward, move them back. So, so it's a big thing. As far as crypto goes, I don't think we're surprised by it dumping for a 12 straight Sunday. I really don't. I mean, we've talked about it all weekend. We've talked about the likelihood of the drop and what we had to do to hold it from dropping. And the problem is the whole weekend, we've not been able to push over this resistance. We ended up getting rejected at not just 258, but we also fell through a key support structure as well. Well, the 260 was a firm rejection, but once we fell below 241, and now in current times, it's at 238. You have to get above. Now the optics are, we're coming down to 209. Once we lose 220, we're coming down to 209 or 210, and then we could come down to $1 or $2 if that's lost. Because right now we're playing off of an inverse head and shoulders, but if you lose the neckline at $2.12, it's not good. And the symmetrical triangle that's formed here, those are technically, I mean, if you can't break out of them, they're technically bearish continuation patterns. So, I mean, how are we supposed to look at this right now? And then we talk about the possibility that there was even this rising channel starting here at the end of this. I know it's still in a broadening wedge. And if we break down from that, it's devastating. So we have a lot of things. The sun is in my eyes in my dad's office. So I'm leaving here today after probably around 2 o'clock to go back to the hotel because we got the school schedule and therapy schedule starting Monday again. So got to go back to the hotel closer to the house. But it's been nice to be here for a couple days. Come back here next weekend. But the sun is in my eyes and my left eye is very sensitive. So I might not be able to open it the whole time. So I have keratoconus, so I can't even see out of my left eye. So it's not like it's gonna give me any extra vision anyhow. It's just one big blur. So got to deal with that. Morning, everybody. I appreciate you tuning in. I seen there was already 89 people in here. Nice. Define good morning. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for your first month. Really appreciate that with the emoji beds and me being abducted by aliens. Jennifer Kupiak, welcome in as always. It was great being able to talk to you in the Telegram as well. A lot of you it was. Thank you for being in Tom's Army for your second month with Bessie's Out House Crypto News. I really appreciate that. 1970 Legend, good morning. Thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. Amanda, good morning, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XRP Meteor. This is going to be the time of struggle. This is going to be the time of, we're getting a lot of news. We heard about I shared this yesterday with volatility shares. They filed for 3 XRP ETFs. Let's just read this real quick before I do the morning intro. Just so, Tom, do you keep an eye on your M2 money supply? What do you mean? But I want to read this real quick. Volatility Shares, an asset manager known for launching innovative exchange-traded funds, ETFs, has filed for 3 new products centered on XRP. These include a spot XRP ETF, a 2x leverage XRP ETF, and an inverse XRP ETF. So now if Volatility Shares gets their way, you're going to be able to do a 2x ETF, which means it moves at twice the speed. So it's weighted twice. So basically it's like buying the stock twice. And it moves at 2x. So you've got that, and then you're going to have the inverse ETF, so you don't even have to long or short the market in the leverage standing. You can do it through the ETFs now, which will be interesting. Well, once the ETFs come on, once the XRP ETFs are available, we're going to look at the trading philosophy through them as well. Anything related to XRP, even if it's in the stock market, we'll figure out it, and we'll see if the ETFs are even worth it or if they're going to cause a bigger market-wide dump. So we'll see what happens. The latest move comes as expectations rise for regulatory approval of a spot XRP ETF. Traders on Polymark are currently weighing a 77% chance that a spot XRP ETF will receive approval this year. However, the perceived odds of approval before July 31st are lower at 35%. Volatility shares filing see it join various other asset managers looking to launch XRP ETFs in the United States, including Grayscale, Wisdom Tree, Bitwise, 21 Shares, CoinShares, and Canary Capital. Last month, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, kicked off its clock for making a decision on one XRP ETF filing by acknowledging a 19B-4 filing by the New York Stock Exchange and Grayscale. The world's first XRP or spot XRP ETF, however, is set to soon debut in Brazil after being approved by the country's securities regulators. The 2X works, so basically if the price moves 10%, it's moving 20%. If it goes down 10%, you're down 20%. But I mean, unless they go to zero, you're not worrying about the drop as much as, or the gains as much as you do in a leverage trade. Leverage trade at 50%, you're done. At least in the ETF, it's going to compound. So even if it goes down 50% one day, it can still go down 45% the next day and not be down 99%. It's just, you're not going to get kicked off your position after 50%. But it does, it moves at twice the weight. So if you're used to a spot trade and it goes up 10%, you make 10%. Or if it goes down 10%, you make 10%. This will be the equivalent of a 2X trade in the leverage market. So now you'd be up 20 or down 20. Now the inverse ETF, the reason it says -1, because that's a short. So you're actually going to be able to take a short out on XRP through the exchange traded fund. I'm assuming that's because it's an inverse, which means you'll be able to short the market without ever leverage trading now. So now XRP can be shorted, and that's dangerous. Understand what that means, because if you watch the commodities markets or stocks and as a whole, and they're starting to do these up-down options on exchanges. So there's going to be a lot more volatility, not just to the upside, but the downside as well. But, you know, so it does make it a little interesting once you start putting it over into the stock market, because now it becomes pretty interesting. Let's see. We know about the drop to $1.50 if this does break down. So we'll look at that. I still want to talk about one other thing and read that whale thing I came across this morning. Like, reading that was a lot of money moved. There's a lot of money moved. So I'm too money supply. I didn't know what you were talking about. My brain's not working. I stay vigilant of it. But I'll be honest, today I haven't looked at it. I haven't looked at it since Friday, so what else? That's a good question, though. That's actually a really good question. Let's see. Co-founder, we already know about the hack. David Sachs explains why. Who cares? To be honest with you, I'd rather listen to my own nutsack than David Sachs. You know, I think it's more integral. So, with that being said, good morning. 9:04 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Sunday, March 9th, 2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. What would be the difference between shorting the regular ETF and taking a long position in the inverse -1X? Well, I mean, there is no difference. The only difference is you're not going to get, well, I mean, it's only a 1X. But you're trading through the stock market is essentially the only difference. You're going through an exchange traded fund. You're probably going to incur a little less fees, and it's just the way that it's going to be weighted. So, I mean, being at a 1X inverse, if you're not into shorting or long in the market and you don't want to do it through leverage because you're sick of the exchanges, this would be the way to go. If you're sick of the way the exchanges cut you at the neck, you know, they don't even allow you to go the full weight of a up and down when you're doing leverage, or you're sick of the fees. Like, for me, this is a no-brainer. I don't want people to leverage trade, but if you want to trade the ETFs when they come out, I mean, that's a whole nother ballgame. It's a whole nother ballgame. Oh, we can absolutely chart DGB. Hell, why don't we start with DGB? Then we'll read that, the XRP whale alert. Because DGB had a nice little move yesterday, which is good, because it kind of protects us from this drop right now. That's why we've got to really be sure with all of the market that everything's going to break down, because there are some that are showing the, the illusion that we could have some big inverse head and shoulders setting up. Now, am I comfortable with any of it? No, not at all. Only because the market just continuously, we're in a bear market. Everybody, I don't want anybody to laugh at me, but we've been in a bear market now. I talked about it yesterday. Talked about it the day before. But we are in a bear market now. So unless we're reversing left shoulder, head, now this could come all the way back down to here technically. But we would want to hold, I wanted it to hold 1055 out of selfishness. But ideally, I understand it's probably going to come back down here. If it has to break down any farther, let's see where the daily's at. I mean, it's trying to hold that 200-day, which is good. And I know we dumped 7%, but that's only because we are up. We were up 8. What was it up? I know yesterday it was up at the peak like 28%. But just from Tuesday when this week started, DGB had made a move of 60%, and now it's up 36. So it's given 24% back. But the point is, there was an opportunity there for anybody who was, even if you're a swing trader and you didn't want to hold it long term, that's a 60% move off the breakout. Now, that doesn't finish the entirety of this move. It's just we have to see if it can hold. The market conditions can bring this down. But DGB has been known to run unopposed. So I would have liked to have seen it get a little hotter. But I mean, what are you going to do? It got caught up here where this little cup was. And now it's got to try to figure out some semblance of a way to hold some kind of support structure to get some more buyers in. The best way for this to happen, we already know we had a golden cross in the 2-hourly that's back testing the normal breakthrough. Same in the 3-hour, same in the 4-hour. But now the golden cross in the 4-hour, we're trying to retest. So 0098 possibly. As long as you don't lose 0098, this would be very strong right now. 200 days all the way back down here, even if you need an overzealous tap at 0088. But so far, so good. I mean, this is what you want. You didn't want this to break out without back testing the wick here. So now we've at least tested that gap. I guess the only thing left to do is if it wants to come down a little bit farther, that is 0, like right here. I guess it could come right here at 00986. It's the tariffs. It's dumped the stock market. I mean, they can blame the tariffs, but this is built in. If it was the tariffs causing, remember, my friends, we're in the USA. We put tariffs on another country. Who do you think pays for those tariffs? You think Mexico, China, Canada are paying for those tariffs? I'm just saying. Are they paying for the tariffs? Or are you, the citizens, you and I, are we paying for the tariffs that are supposedly put on another country? I just want to know how smart my audience is. I keep repeating this every single day now. Who's paying for it? That's all I want to know. Then we'll move on. Who's paying for the tariff? If the U.S. puts a tariff on you, who's putting it on? Are the U.S. citizens or the other country? Correct. The citizens and the consumer. Correct. So now, if your country, if you're watching me, let's say you're from Canada, my friends from Canada, eh? My brother in the north, some stationary, as I found out a few years ago. But if Canada now reacts and says, those sons of bitches in America, now we're going to put a 25% tariff on your shit. Well, guess what? Now the citizens of Canada now have to pay for it. So don't jump in the street saying, yeah, we're those scumbags in the U. That's how the government's pitted the citizens against each other, make it look like they're smart, but really we're just idiots. So they trick us. They say, we're going to do this. And then Trump they get the applause. And it's like, we really this stupid? It's 2025. I understand, like, people be like, oh, in the state of the internet, how could you be so stupid? Because you're in the state of the internet and you trust everything on Google. That's how we're so stupid. But even on Google, a simple search of tariffs will teach you the right definition of the way to look at it. So I just don't want my audience to be oblivious to what they're doing to us. I've never kept you oblivious, and I'm never going to keep you oblivious. It drives me nuts. Matteo, we need rate cuts. Actually, if I'm being honest with you, we need the complete opposite. I've had this question asked to me, Tom, if you were in charge of the Fed, what would you do? The FOMC? First things I do, I'm taking that national, inflation rate, what's it at, 3-4%? They never tell you the truth. I'd be raising it up to 22-25% off the bat. Oh, you heard me right. 22. If we pay 29.9% or between 19.9 and 30% on a credit card, why can't I raise it? So I'd raise it up to 22%. And then everybody who actually works and who's trying to make a savings, you realize when it's a 22% interest rate, you get 22% at the bank. This is the trick that you're not taught. Yes, it costs more to get a house, but you shouldn't be buying it if you can't afford it. And I was in that position many times, and I had to buy a house with the PMI and all this other crap. So basically, the insured. So we need to raise interest rates, not lower them. If we lower them like Trump wants and like the U.S. is going to do eventually here, it continues. We're not even just hyperinflation. Now we become at stagflation. And nobody wants to listen about stag. Hold on real quick. $5 donation from It's All in Illusion CPI Wednesday FOMC meeting. Oh, yeah. That's going to be the one that's interesting, because if the markets continue to be hammered, we got a few different things to talk about. And the big thing is with interest rates, we do not want them to be cut. Cutting interest rates make a very long-term problem for us. Sure, maybe we get some short-term relief to the upside, but by cutting interest rates, now at the bank, if anybody in my audience has money saved, at the bank, you know damn well you're not getting anything unless you put it in a CD or something. My bank offers like not even 0.5%. Now, if they raise the interest rates up to 20+%, you're going to live just like our grandparents did. If my grandparents had 50 or 100,000, they could get 20 grand a year just from their savings. That's how they used to pay for the down payment of their house, for their new cars, for all their new stuff. I mean, now when we do it, if I put 100 grand in the bank, what are they going to give me? $5 fucking dollars, $50? You know, that's what I mean. Or $500 on 100 grand. Like, it doesn't work. So we want interest rates to go up. If you want to be more wealthy because you're a worker and you're trying to save, you can't save and earn on interest rates when there's no interest being paid. That's the biggest misconception. We weren't taught this in school, because guess what? Teachers only want to teach. They never made a mistake. How can you be taught by somebody who's never actually been in the business? I always used to ask my teachers, like, you're teaching me business, you're teaching me economics, you're teaching me all this stuff, but you've never actually done it. You've never owned a business. You've never pushed it it never made any sense to me. It's never made any sense to me how teachers never had to actually live it. So you studied in a book, big freaking deal. It's amazing. And I had a great teacher when I was a kid, a great teacher. And he pushed the same narrative I'm talking about. He was a great teacher. I had a few really good teachers. Miss Essler, Miss Stempen, Rhoda Stempen, now if she's ever watching. That was my most influential teacher. She was I was her first student. So I was almost 18, and she might have been 25 right out of college. And the greatest teacher I ever had. The greatest teacher I ever had. And it's probably the reason why I am part of the way I am today. She's the one who told me that you might not be able to do it in the traditional sense, but you're going to thrive in untraditional fashion. And she's like, I can't tell you what that means. She even told my parents, he's going to be fine when he's an adult, but he's not going to be able to work the typical job. She used to always tell my parents, like, he's not going to thrive in the typical circumstance. I don't know how she knew, but she definitely pegged me, because now I bet you if she watched me now, she'd be like, I knew it. I told you 20 years ago that you weren't going to survive in the real world in the actual 9-to-5 job. I think she knew I was destined for something more because of the way my personality was. I always thought she had pity on me too, because I was just some fat kid. And, you know. But hey, nonetheless, I guess she could tell a good soul. But that's the whole thing with the interest rates. And then, we want them to be higher. Like, for our country's sake, we want them to be higher. And AMP, thankfully, allowed me to sell it a little while ago, but I was a little pissed off when it topped out earlier, because if the whole market wouldn't have brought it down, and I was targeting when I bought it in over here when it came and tapped, I was targeting that move, but once it got rejected here and it came down, I woke up and it was at 478. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, my phone says there's a 12 or 15% move, and now it's up 8. I think it was 7%. I couldn't figure it out. And then I looked at it. I'm like, look at this dying. I knew it was bad. So I just got rid of it again, and now it sits there. It's just a shame, though. Everything does this. It's like, guess what? In a bear market, you continue to have these lower pushes. No matter how high they push up, it ends up looking to the next layer down. Now, look, take the elevator up, take the stairs down. I talked about this in December when I took 70% of my profits. And I got crucified, but I said it looks like we took the elevator up and we're taking the stairs down. It doesn't mean I'm out of the market. I have a lot of crypto still, but I was able to reposition at lower levels on a lot of different things and ended up having nice swing trades across the board as well. I still own XRP, but remember, I started with 20,000 XRP roughly when I bought at 34 and 38 cents, and I had a second bag so that I could sell when it had that first initial rally. And when it got up over, I did sell some earlier than 3, but the majority that I sold, 90% of it, was above $3.20. And I put a video out when I said I sold 70% of my stuff to secure my 6-figure return. And people were like, you son of a bitch, what are you doing? Wave 5 still got to come, you dumb mother, blah, blah, blah. And now look where we're at now. We're down $1. You know, I'm not an idiot. But at the same time, I still have hope for this market. Maybe I am an idiot for having hope in the market. Maybe I am truly an idiot because I haven't flipped out of all of my crypto yet and just put it into my commodities. I've had that talk with myself. Like, you know, silver's going up. You know, the bullion's going up. You already have plenty of precious metals, but why not put it back into like some, who knows, even a dividend paying, you know, so had a lot of conversations with myself about crypto. And if I'm being honest with myself, like I'm in a great position, even if I liquidated the whole account right now, you know, I'm in a fucking fantastic condition, but it's not something I'm planning on doing here because I feel like with everything that's going on in the current environment, this would probably be the time where I would build and build and build now. I already secured enough return to where I don't even, I'm watching this and it's like, I feel like I'm stuck in limbo because even if I liquidated the whole market, where the hell am I going to put it? Can't put it in the bank because they only let you take out, in some cases, 5-10 grand a day. I'm not putting it in some other garbage. So for me, it's like the ISO and the IoT tokens, you're just going to have to believe that that's going to pull through at some point here. And it's one of those things. This time I approached this bull market different than the last time. I bought twice as much as I wanted in this bull market. I mean, in the bear market. In DGB's case, I have 14 times more than I wanted. I only wanted 100,000 tokens. I have 1.4 million. You know, ZIL, I only wanted 100,000 tokens. I got 500,000. You know, MXC, I was targeting 250,000. I got 1 million. You know, but it's the levels we were buying at that are allowing this to happen. So, Shane, I hear you, friend. I hear you. I was actually going to put it on here. DAG and, which one were you asking for? I think Corium. DAG and Corium. But I need to, well, this is our ever-building list, but I don't own all of these. The only one, I don't own any of these now, to be honest with you, on this list. So this is, I guess this page is going to be our speculatory list until it gets into levels. Which one did I have the DAG chart on? If I had to guess, I would probably say it was the MEXC USDC. Oh, that's USDT I clicked on. Let's see. I don't think it would be. Maybe I would have used that one. It's been so long since I covered this chart. But look at, these are all, I'm sorry. These are just all huge topping reversals now. And these bearish pennants are going to play down. It's like no matter what I look at, they look like bearish pennants forming. I'm going to find the chart when we used to cover this because it's pretty interesting how far this has dropped. Well, I mean, it came up from back here. I mean, there was a long consolidatory period around the 2 cent area. So maybe I'm just going to have to use a new one. This sucks. It's fine. I'll just use a different one. Let's see. It could have been KuCoin as well. You never know. It was too. Look at that. Shane, I told you, I mean, I don't know if you were here when I used to cover this, but this was the optics here. We had to break out of this. And even if we look at it, we never broke out. Even during this entire consolidation, DAG technically has still never broke out going back to 22. It got rejected here. So it's still in this nice consolidation. So unless, and look, this is the all-time uptrend from 2020. Well, it starts in 2020 on this chart. But if you look at this, the all-time uptrend brings you right into this area. So the most logical buy would be if we don't break it, it resets back at 2.7. See, this is bullshit. They literally are using us. Oh, man, it makes it so tough. It makes it so tough for me right now because I think if I wasn't doing this program, I would have stopped trying to seek out deals, even though we've done great with a few of them that we've been able to swing and on and so forth, yada, yada, no one cares. But I think if all things were equal and I didn't do this show every day, I probably would have liquidated crypto 100% and not started to try to buy the ones that are in the bear market. Well, no, that's not true. I would have sold out XRP wholesale, and I would have sold out some of the other ones that have already went crazy, and then I would have started to re-employ that capital as some of them were going into new bear market lows. It's a strategy I use in commodities, so there's no way I wouldn't have done it in this field. But like I said, I want to cross things different this time. That's why I tried to teach to, hey, if you want 10,000 tokens of something, and it's cheap, buy 20 if you can afford it. And then when it gets into the bull market, you can sell 10 and keep the 10 you wanted. That's the philosophy I unwinded in this market. But I don't see myself, at least right now, and this isn't because I think the market's great and it's not going to go down. I just don't see myself 100% wholesale out of everything this time. I don't. As long as I have the funds I need to do what I need to do, it looks like we could be going into a crypto winter again, even though it's starting the summer. But does anything look like it's outside the realm? I keep trying to tell my audience too, like, we're trying to find these, you know, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. But you can only buy the actual dip. Some of these that were already way up, you're not buying the dip. You're just buying it in bull market territory, even though it's in a mini bear market. And like, look how fast these are dropping off. It's friggin' insane. It's friggin' insane. It's almost like, what do you do at this point? Like, I look at Axelar where I'm up a little bit. Like, it's at 38 cents. My average is down at a couple cents below this. It's like, do you just sell it because it looks like it's coming through and try to see if it holds the 30? But like, for me, the reason why it makes me a little bit of a fundamental disturbance here is because when I'm looking at these, I don't like to sell fear. That's the other thing here. Like, I don't like to sell the fear. I prefer to buy the fear because I know at some turn there's going to be the reversal. But the one thing that gets me still is this Ethereum. It fell out of that. And in my opinion, we called it months before when I sold a lot of things, this rising wedge. I think it's in a rising wedge. And it came down out of the rising wedge. The first support's 1,979. If that layer breaches and we have to take the technical drop down, that technical target's $496 for Ethereum. If Ethereum's down at $496 a token, where do you think the rest of crypto's at? I mean, if that actually, that's 77% from here. I can tell you right now, I'm not holding everything for a 77% drop. And I can also tell you something. There's a destination point here for Bitcoin, and it's about like when it got rejected at 87.4, this is the time now that it's losing the 200-day where you have to take serious consideration of that target down to 74 we had long ago, and that target for XRP at $1.50 that we had long ago. I got crucified for it, but this is what's happening. You know, and I understand, Matteo, that crypto's never, in theory, been in a more bullish position. But what have I said since I was newest and until I'm blue in the face? What do I say? The moment the government gets involved with regulations, the crypto casino stops in a bad way. Sure, it can still be open for losses most of the time, but you don't want government regulations. I don't know how to explain this. Most people who trade crypto, they said, I only trade crypto because we can go around the government and they have no involvement. You think those same people are going to buy crypto now that it's regulated and Trump has pulled the fleece, heist, and shice with the meme tokens, the Trump token, the Melania token, the Eric Trump token, all these fucking tokens that stole liquidity. And I like Trump, so you guys can stop the bullshit now if you're going to say, oh, he's a Trump basher, he's Trump deranged. TDS, like I've said in the past, the only TDS I know is a touchdown. You know, so I don't care about politics. I only care how they affect me personally. So as far as economics go, I care because it affects me personally. So you see how Zill's at 1222? I'm speaking the truth and the angels are watching us. So it's like George Carlin said, there's a whole big club and you and I aren't part of it. There's a hole inside and we on the outside, my friends. So, no. I didn't say I like him as a political person. I'm saying I like what I've learned from Trump in the past when I was growing up with real estate and the tax code and understanding from a business perspective how to not just keep your wealth, but advance it. And also, you know, having a little bit of humility along the way. But there's the obvious though. I kicked him in the nuts. You guys all know it. When Trump got inaugurated and they did the meme tokens, I got crucified because I said this is the start of a new bear market. And that's when I'm dead the all shit moment. Like here it is again, just like 21. Like, is this really the time they're going to do it here? And the bull markets, this is different this time still. This is still different because the U.S. government now has their hands in things. And I've never known the government to watch their investment just go down without trying to have some kind of QE. So I think quantitative easing is right around the corner. But Jennifer, hold on, Jennifer. Black, have you forgotten the market under Biden? Which market? The record stock market, the crypto market that was at record highs with Bitcoin when he left. XRP was over $3. Which market are you talking about? The bullion market was flying. Yeah, because Biden was an idiot and they were pushing those policies, we were getting rich as fuck. I wish Biden would have had another 4 years. I'm just being serious. He was printing so much damn money that we had no choice but to get rich if we understood how to play the markets. I'm actually disappointed that it ended. I was very transparent. I did not want that election to happen because we were making bank under Biden. A lot of people lost their ass, but this community made friggin' bank. I mean, I made more money under Biden than I ever made in my life in the markets. Ever. It's not even close. So we can talk what we want, but I literally, it was the biggest bull market in so many things that people would not acknowledge because they hated Biden. Remember? And I don't like Biden, or I don't like politics because I know the central banks pull the strings. But when Trump got elected, I knew we were pushing digital. I knew we were going into the digital and the AI and the AI is scary, man. But this is all baked in. Don't think Trump is doing this. This is all caked in. Just like Biden had no effect on. This is all caked in here. It's all baked in. They try to push the politicians like they're doing this. Trump has. If it wasn't Trump's meme token, it would have been another one. You know, if it's not Trump in office, it would have been Harris. And if Harris was in office, I mean, everybody thought Trump was going to kill gold and silver initially, right? And look what happened. When Trump got in, gold took a dive. And it wasn't bad. But gold was all the way up here, you know. It started, Trump got in, we finished off this rally up to 2000. Nobody says, oh, Trump was in and it went up here. But let's just say from the time he was in, we went from 2000 at the top, 2009.52, had a healthy correction down here, back up. But right now we're just getting rejected. This is the thing. Like, I'm not even excited about precious metals, at least the bullion itself at this point, until we get back above that rising channel. Because this is exactly how crypto started when we broke the, when it fell out for XRP in the rising channel. And that's when we knew the bull market was taking a back seat. Like, you can't ignore the facts that are in front of us. This looks like hell right now. The only thing that I like is the fact we're in that falling channel now after breaking that long-term up channel. And I do like that. That's the resistance level that now that's how high you would have to get back on top. If we would have just stayed on the support structure, that's the crazy thing. Assuming we would have just not had any manipulation and everything was going as good as it could right now, this would have been the projection. Ready? And we can honestly give a projection of where we would be right now. So consolidation, boom, into a bull market. Boom, consolidate uptrend. Boom, uptrend. Boom, broke through. Couldn't break up. Now, assuming this broke back up, you would have went boom, boom, boom. Right now, you'd be at approximately somewhere around that 6. So when you look at it in theory, we should be, if it would have played it properly, right around in between that 549 and 679. The fact that it got rejected here, came around, rejected, sideways consolidation. I'm not ready to kill it yet because that's a falling channel. But it did make it a lot harder. That's all. When you lose the initial uptrend, it makes things a hell of a lot harder. It doesn't mean it's over because it's not yet. But even this inverse right shoulder, I mean, we're getting to a point now where these targets have been talked about. Now they're coming through the bearish targets. I talked at 258 and said, hey, if you were somebody who wanted to sell at $1.90 and you only held because I said that there was going to be a retest of the drop point, that was the rejection point to sell, because then if it got rejected, we already circled where it was going if it got rejected at best case scenario. And now we're dealing with, it looks like the worst case scenarios. And every single weekend now, this is every single weekend. Every single president. Yeah, because it's all a sham. Don't you understand? They use the president to make it look like something's happening that isn't. This country isn't run by the president. This country is run by the central banks. Once you understand that, you're fine. You know, in Ethereum yesterday, when it made that run, I said it's helping us today, but it's gone nowhere yet. It was hitting the rejection point. Now look, instantly reverses back down. Instantly comes back down. I mean, we're teetering on the disaster areas. Now, you've already had the exhaustion wick filled through, and it's always the same thing. Oh, and if you're mad about your 30K going to 20 in less than a month, if this next drop happens, that 20K is going to go to 10 in like a week. So, you know, I'm being very honest with everybody. I always am. I can't tell you what to do. When I came on and said so strongly, I sold 70% of my stuff and I kept the essentials and then the amount that I wanted of things. And then, sure, there's certain things where I found a positioning where we built into them, made 150 or 200% real quick. But that's just to supplement the losses. Don't you understand? If I lose $5,000 or $7,000 on a downward push, I always try to find a way. The only answer is ADA. Why is that? I'm curious that philosophy, because what it's starting to look like to me are the ones that were put in the crypto strategic reserve are probably the ones that are going to get the biggest rug pull. And, you know, I like XRP, but what's happening right now? Oh, I would have, Jennifer, if I wouldn't have pulled that 70% out, think about it. I probably have lost 40 or 50 grand right now. Easy. But I mean, why is ADA the only way? I'm just asking. Everybody in my audience who went and bought this real quick, and I said, listen, guys, I got one spot I'm going to buy ADA, and it's going to have to come way down. We had so many people buy it here. If ADA's, look at this, 35, it almost seems like to me last weekend they announced certain tokens as a reserve just so they could rug pull and let the citizens fund it. They say, oh, the citizens aren't funding it. It's already in the crypto reserve. Bullshit. We are funding it. Look how much it's dropped. Where do you think that liquidity is coming from? Axelar is the best play. I own Axelar, and I can't say that that's to be the case. I actually came on here and said you might have to consider, because we're getting closer to my profit margin now. We got the rejection at 45 cents, which is bad. And I know there's ties with Ripple, but like, there's no good play here if this market falls out. I've been trying to say this. We can call any token we want, but the play are just short term, like DGB. We've seen a short term move. Does that mean it's already over now? I agree with that, Matteo. I agree with that. That is an excellent observation. There is way more on the heat liquidation map up than there is down. That is absolutely 100% true. But that doesn't mean, remember how the liquidity map was lit up over the top and then it disappeared without it going up there? That's because people made such massive profit. It goes both ways. It dumps too hard, people aren't sitting in there. So that liquidity disappears, and that's what's happening over the top. And then it reaffirms it underneath as new shorts are taken out or longs are taken out to try to pull it back up. But even if something like DGB, with how big, this is a big telling sign right now. If DGB doesn't hold on here, it's going to be a long-term bear market. I can't tell you that, Sav. I can't tell you that. I'm not a financial advisor. And I put myself in a hell of a spot in 2021 when I told everybody and begged them to sell XRP and their whole crypto. If that would have went the other way, I would have had lawsuits up the ass. So, I have to be wiser this time around. But yeah, I made no bones about where there's the sell points. If you didn't sell it now at 258, or you just held it after it broke 242 again, or now $2.20. To me, that is the make it or break it. I don't care about 228. I don't care about 214. This down $2.20. If this breaks, I have a bad feeling about this. And it's like we're losing every key area right now. Everything is. It doesn't matter. Everything is losing its key. It's losing the areas of content right now. I mean, this is bad. You cannot start losing. Look at where XRP's at now. That's a huge pivot at 129.29. That is, in fact, we're on a breakout. If this was going to play out bullishly, it had to get over that in a symmetrical sense. But these are bearish. Like, listen, guys, I'm telling you, 74K for Bitcoin, and I'm not going to tell you what to do. Seems like there's no way to avoid it. If these are symmetrical triangles, they are bearish continuation patterns where they're set up. I can only say it so many times. And it's sad. It's sad that we're going to be in this kind of a position here. Like if you're looking at your last stand support, that 220, it's about to give way. And now the bitch part's going to be if they decide to flip it on. But my levy position says 104K before 74. I would take that. I would take that. We haven't broke the final support yet, so to where it would cause that big drop to 74 for Bitcoin. So that's what we're looking at here. I mean, we've had so much down that you always have these corrective phases. But what they did to us last Sunday, 1 week ago, was a major injustice. Instead of just letting the market come down like it was supposed to and try to take out those lows at 74 for Bitcoin and try to take out the $1.50 fair value gap on XRP, they artificially rose it up so they could liquidate more and more and more people and trap more and more people so they could make more and more on the next time. Like they should have, if they would have just said nothing, if Trump wouldn't have tweeted and just let it drop. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. If you think retail made that move on the Trump tweet, you have no clue what's going on. That was all institutions pushing that price up and one sector trapping more retail, and then those same people just sold it on Monday. It's a very strange time we're living in right now, where we can go from we are in an unregulated market, and then us begging the government to regulate it when the government's the ones who are manipulating it. Like, are we out of our fucking minds? And I keep saying this. Why would you want the government to regulate a market when they're the ones manipulating it? So now they have the regulations in place and they're manipulating it so that they can fuck it up with regulations as justification. So they're going to manipulate it too fast. Then because of regulations, they're going to halt trading. I'm just saying, guys, we are asking for a very slippery slope in crypto. And there is a case to be made that we've already hit the highest of highs ever in crypto. until they get rid of a lot of different tokens. You know, so I'm telling you, I've made this case a bunch of times, and I'm going to continue making this case because there is the case to be made. The only reason XRP and all of crypto, well, not XRP, but why crypto had such a big move in 21 is because of all of the free money being printed and given to the citizens. And they didn't actually have money, but they were getting free stimmies, significant amounts of unemployment that they didn't deserve in the USA. And then everybody said, oh, this is great. We don't care that they're poisoning us. We don't care that they're stealing our country from us. We got a few cheap dollars. It's never changed. One segment of the population's happy if they get a few free food stamps and free government funds. One half of the population's happy if they get free insurance. Like, it doesn't work that way. If you're getting free shit, it ain't working. It's just not working. And we were on a fun, I mean, again, it's almost too easy now, and it pisses me off. Because I'm losing my love for crypto. Not my love for doing this show, not my love for XRP, not the love for the ISO and IoT, but the love for crypto as a whole, because it's becoming it's a zero-sum game for us, which means the government is once again the buyer and seller of last resort. Do you like how it is in the bond market, how they control it all? Do you like how it is in the commodities market? Well, now they're doing it in crypto. So what's the next thing we look at? You know, I mean, you ask the government to come in, they're going to take something away. But I believe this is not a trader's market right now. Like, if you find something and you actually like it, and you find a position where you want it at this point, because it's not a trader's market. And what I mean by that is, just take the guru, for example. He had his account at 750,000. Actually, it was at 1.2 million. He sold out, did great. Bought the bottom. He did some stupid things along the way, but his positions that he was holding, he did great. Well, he says he called the top, but he leverage traded long the whole way down and lost like 300K. Now, you may very well have called the top, but if you're trading long leverage after calling a top, you are an idiot. And you can't claim that you called the top. Not that you're an idiot, but you just, you might be living in fantasy land or have too much money. That'd be like me selling out of XRP right now and taking all my profit and saying, hey, I'm out of the market, but I opened up a $5,000 leverage long. And people would look at me and be like, what the hell are you talking? Why would you open a $5,000 10x and he does 20x? So that'd be like me opening up a $100,000 XRP trade when I closed down a $25,000 position. Doesn't even make any sense. Why not just have the security of your spot trade? If you think the market top, why the hell would you do leverage? It doesn't make, the fundamentals that are being taught on YouTube are weird. Like, let's sell out of our spot position to buy leverage longs. Do you think Trump would cause an intentional recession to pay the U.S. Treasury? No, not to pay the U.S. Treasury back. He might cause an intentional. Well, I mean, he hasn't lied. He wants to devalue the dollar. He wants to lower interest rates. That's a recipe for this country just to fold. Now, he went to business school, like a very prestigious business school. The man knows that if he does this, this country's over. He knows it. I have thought that he would cause one to stop inflation. It's actually the opposite. When he was president, he had the single biggest budget. I mean, you can just look it up. And people are blaming the blah, 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 we were locked down. Yeah, we were artificially locked down for no reason, for the same sickness we have now that they don't even treat you for. Think about it. The thing that they told you was going to kill you, they don't even treat you for it anymore. They tell you to go home and wait. I mean, you want to talk about stupidity. And like, we give it all away for what? Because we believe the TV? I don't understand. We have to raise interest rates to 25 to 30% to stop inflation. There's no other way around it. If we continue to cut rates, inflation gets worse. We are in stagflation now. Do you know what stagflation is? We have too much debt. We don't have enough money coming in. And now the unemployment rate is surging. Stagflation is going out of control. And the only way this all roads meet, we're already in hyperinflation, but if they meet in stagflation, it's over. And I think it's already over. And we keep thinking there's going to be this magical force to push us up. But like if the citizens don't have any money and we're waiting for the local governments to do this and they're putting ETFs, isn't there an argument to be made that the ETFs could explode and the basic crypto just keeps dropping? Look what happened to Bitcoin. It went up on the ETFs, but the moment the ETFs started selling, it's different than the crypto market. The ETFs are a dangerous game for, especially XRP as well, because in crypto, if you're buying an individual token, this is the truth. You can just print USDT and they can pay you through Tether, and it's just like quantitative easing. It's not real money. It overinflates the crypto market. You might get your money out of it, but the next person might not be so lucky. That's the same thing that's happening. It's the same thing. You know, and it's with the ETFs now, you can buy in with sound money and know if you sell, they have to give you a 1-to-1 this ratio. They can't just print Tether. That means that it's coming from somewhere. So they're actually going to have to pull fund. I mean, it's not a pretty situation here. And that's why I was begging DGB yesterday to defy the odds and hold that 1055. It failed. I may like DGB as much as the next person and more probably, but it failed so far. Now, it hasn't failed this inverse head and shoulders possible setup, but it has got a lot of work to do now. It's got a lot of work to do now because technically it only had to come up and down and it's done it. And now back up and back through. Now, technically, you know, we're looking to hold that 0098. If that doesn't hold, we are in a lot of, I hate Solana. I wouldn't own Solana if somebody gave me it for free. I would give it away. I'd sell it. I wouldn't give it away for free, but I'd give it away for the value it was that day or wherever the chart told me that it could go to in the short term if it wasn't an up move. Solana is nothing more than the bankers dump and bump coin, or the bump. Everybody who thinks XRP is the pump and dump coin of all the elites, they forgot about Solana. Yeah, XRP to an extent, but they literally will pump Solana from $10 to $300 and dump it in a week, 75%, because they know retail's not buying at 10. They're buying at 150. They bring it up to 200 real quick and then drop it down. They do it all the time. Look at XRP. They knew retail wasn't buying at 35 or 50 or 75. They brought it to 340, dropped it back down to $1.70 or $1.90 or wherever the hell it hit, $1.78 or whatever. Brought it all the way back up plus $3. Now look where we're at. Because they knew they were the most bang for their buck was the trap retail. I've been saying the bull market might be over, when I sold 70% back in December, that was your first sign that I thought the bull market was in trouble. You know, and I still have a healthy portfolio, but it's nowhere near what it could be. You're talking about even with what I have in the market right now, it's not even 1/3 of what I had before. If that puts it in perspective for everybody, I don't know what to say. I have 33% of a portfolio of what I had before, basically. So, do I think the bull market's over? I didn't sell 2/3 for no reason. You know, and I'm not trying to find steals for no reason. But right now, I'm in an uncomfortable spot because I can't really do anything right now while it's still in fear because I need to wait for that next either big tug down, buy some more, and then unload on that next big push. But this fear and greed index, there's no reason it should be at 27. It should be back down towards 15, not 27. Like, even though it's in fear, none of the Doge numbers, no, they don't. And not just that, Trump said Elon Musk doesn't even have the final say. So you already see what's happening. He's expanding the government while taking away control from the ones he said are going to make it better. So Elon Musk was in charge of the Department of Government Efficiency, but guess what? He doesn't have the final say. The politicians do. I mean, you can't make this shit up. So he's in charge, but he doesn't have the final say. Like, you guys do the math. Does this seem like a good market? Because I'm starting to think we might need to run away as far as we can fucking run. And I've been telling everybody, 70% has already gone out of my portfolio. I don't know how many times I can say it. And yes, I still have significant parts of my portfolio. But DGB being so cheap and some other things, like I could build a portfolio at certain levels. And DGB's, this whole thing doesn't feel right. No. Elon Musk, listen, I don't necessarily think he's a robot, but I've said this for years. He has in his brain already implanted. So if you ever see him, it's like Demolition Man. He gets asked questions like, and his eyes are wandering around and you're like, what the hell is he looking at? He's got it in front of him, everything he's trying to say. Like, it's like a computer in his brain now. I'm telling you, that's happened. I know it. I can see it. I've seen this. I know. And he can literally see it all in front of him. Exactly, Neuralink. There we go. It's all an illusion. You're right. And Solar Jeff, the MK Ultra, it's a little different for him. But think about it. They said now that they're trying, that it's been approved or a bill's been passed. So in prison, they can put AI, artificial intelligence, can put fake memories into your brain. I'm sorry, didn't we see a movie called Inception about this? So when I say they put it in movies and it's happened for decades, that's another perfect example. Now they're going to put it into prisoners. How long until they put it into us? Or better yet, how long have they been putting it into us? So then they said that it would mimic the fact that they would think they were the victim instead of the perpetrator. And they could settle their 20-year jail sentence in 3 minutes or whatever. But it would feel like a lifetime. Well, isn't that what Inception was? They put a fake memory inside the guy's brain on the plane. One of the world leaders. I'm just saying, all of this is played out in front of us in the media. You see how there's a Bitcoin documentary now? In my history, whenever they put out movies, nothing good ever comes. So, I'm not exactly sure how quickly this ends. But it's, it sure was, poser. It sure was. But it sure is, Jennifer. And look how we had iRobot and the Terminator. And now look what we're doing. And look at the names. Look at the robotics companies. Isn't it scary? It's the same movies. The same as the movies. Like from the Terminator. You can literally buy a stock that makes the exact... We can't make this up. So, like, I really do feel like they're it's a scary time. I'm just going to say it's a scary time right now. And I'm trying my best to keep everybody ahead. But, like, my greatest fear is that 75% of my audience is going to lose a ton because only 25% listen in the bear market. And not just that. That doesn't mean that 50% didn't listen. That just means, maybe 50% of that was left. Or maybe 50% didn't listen. Then there's 25% of new people in here as well. So the first 25% is great. They made so much money that they don't even care. Like, they sold out. They're all on house money now. And they're like, I'm willing to ride these profits, what's left in there until it gives me that final say. But then there's a 25% segment that has only started buying in at some 40% drop now. And it's crazy. Even watching me, they're buying in at those levels. And that's because I am not the end-all, be-all. I can only tell you what I'm doing. And the heart of heart says, this still doesn't feel right. Yeah, I can see 74K is probably unavoidable here. I mean, this is just fucked. We'll see what the trading week has to do, but I'm XRP future millionaire. We're getting to the end of this. I talked more than looking at the charts because I was trying to push a message out there because we're at a crossroads here. And this isn't the same crossroads as back in December. Back in December, the only good thing about me being so out in front of it and taking profits so high up is the fact that it gave the understanding to the audience that I wasn't dicking around. That something wasn't right. Now, if this falls through, you're talking about, even if this market's meant to flip bullish after this, you're talking about a catastrophic drop across the market, 35% on H bar, back down to 13 cents. Now, again, I don't like to sell on red. So now if you're trying to sell right now because you're fearful, You know, you kind of got to bite the bullet right now to see when that next green candle happens. Tom's losing it on live. I'm losing it? No, I'm just telling you the fucking truth. If this is losing it, you're out of reality, my friend. I'm not losing it. This is quite the opposite. If I was losing it, I would have done this a different way. If you think I'm losing it, that's fine. Everybody has their own opinion. I was losing it in December. If you think I'm losing it, no. I was losing it in December and people weren't listening. Yep, a bunch of us are trapped in the matrix, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean I respect that comment though, because you know it might look like I'm losing it. You know, because I'm talking the dark truth right now. This entire live was building from how we put political blame, how we put institutional blame, how we put it all on retail, when in fact, all you have to do is look no farther than the central banks. Who runs the show? Who started buying a bunch of stuff now? What did BlackRock just buy? Is anybody... No, YouTube won't. That's why I encourage everybody to join my free Telegram. Just join the free Telegram. You don't even have to watch YouTube to see when I'm live or when I'm doing an update. If you come to my Telegram for free, that I opened back up to the public like 3 weeks ago after 2 years of having it shut down and revamping it and getting rid of all the bad actors, and 2 people have already been kicked out without any warning, because there are no warnings. If you come here, you're either cool or you're not. And I have no remorse if I kick you out. And if I lose you as a viewer, well, that's okay, because you lost my respect when you disrespected my community. You know, so that goes 2 ways. So if you join here, I put the content link, so you always see every single thing I put out will be right here. And then when I go live, I put it in the general chat too. If it's even here, I don't know where it's at. Oh, people are milking cows. Look at this. How I'm listening to Tom. Some people are... Oh, this is awesome. Oh, this is too much. I did put it on here somewhere. I thought I put it into the main chat. I guess not. Is this the crypto market milking us, Jennifer? Is that what you're really trying to say? We're being milked and there's nothing we can do? But yeah, it's been an interesting time to be alive. But hey, I said before the weekend even started, get ready for the 12th straight drop. So I'm looking for one more green candle before 74K as well. I'm just hoping that green candle doesn't come from $1.98 back to $2.20. Let's put it that way. But we're losing a very key support structure right now. We're losing a very key support structure. I'm not going to make any bones about it before I leave. That, oh, I'm sorry. But I'm going to give you guys a little bit of false hope as well before I leave. So that 220 is key. Because once you lose that, now you're starting to talk about the continuation to finish this drop. We're in a shit show right now. And look at, the crazy thing is, you'd think there's some sell volume pushing this, but there's really not. But yeah, I've called for $1.50 since December. That's that fair value gap. But just remember, guys, that also creates a problem going down to $1.50. Ooh, I need to look at that. Where was this? Where was this prayer by IQ? Where's IQ? That must have been last night then. Oh, here we go. IQ said, Heavenly Father, as we end another day in this dynamic and ever-evolving space, we come before you with gratitude and humility. We thank you for the opportunities, the connections, and the creativity that this community brings together. Bless every member of our community, whether they are seasoned veterans, curious newcomers, or innovators striving to shape the future. Grant us wisdom to make sound decisions, patience to endure the ups and downs, and integrity in all our dealings. Protect us from the traps of greed, dishonesty, and fear. Guide us to use our knowledge and resources not just for personal gain, but to create positive change in the world. May we foster truth, trust, collaboration, and hope, building a better tomorrow for all. Tonight, we also lift up Tom's little boy to you. We pray for his ongoing recovery and ask for your healing hand to rest upon him, strengthen his family and mind, comfort his family, and fill them with hope and peace as they navigate this journey. May they feel your presence and your love every step of the way. As we rest tonight, may our hearts be filled with peace, knowing that you are in control of all things. Grant us clarity for the challenges of tomorrow and inspire us to continue building with purpose and vision. In your name we pray, amen. Amen. And William, I don't know if you're in here, IQ. That is beautiful. I really appreciate that. I really do. And sharing it with I love when you share your prayers in here. And remember, when more than one person speaks the name of our Lord and Savior, God becomes present in our actions. And our community, God remains within. That's amazing. So I'm going to go because I've only got a few hours left at my dad's before I got to go travel back to the hotel. It's about a half hour, 40-minute ride back over to my side of town. And then my son's got school tomorrow, Monday through Friday school. He's got therapy Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. They're working on the house. It's going to be a busy week again. But we're going to do it in stride. We've done a lot of lives here the last few days as well, which is great. And like as far as joining Tom's Army and donations, I encourage you not to do that today when it's red. Save those funds. And if anything, find your way to an exchange. Find your way to maybe one that I use. You know, you don't have to use the ones I use, but I'm not going to talk about ones I don't. So in my experience, my favorite one, hands down, is BITUNIX. They have the lowest spot and leverage trading fee, lowest maker-taker fee. And, I mean, there's going to come a time here where I think if you're on BITUNIX, and obviously you have to click through my link because it's attached to my account. But I'm going to share this with everybody again real quick. Let me find it and send it to my email. Because they're doing a thing right now that basically, if you're a high volume trader, and I know some are taking advantage of it, much higher volume than we are. So let me look this up real quick because I want everybody to have this. I mean, I want you to at least have the opportunity if you're a high volume trader. Even if you're not, you can deposit $1,000 and you get $100 for free on one small leverage trade. There's 500 for 50. Like, I'm all about taking the free market from the exchange, but at the same time, I am not looking to lose a bunch of money either. So, you know, it's got to be part of the philosophy that you already have. But I still think it would be kind of not cool if I don't share it. I wish I would have already had it set up, but I keep forgetting I'm at my dad's house and things are a little different. So let me just send this to my email. I think it's great. I think it's great. If they're going to offer free XRP and you already trade this way, I think it's a great thing. It's just, you can't go outside yourself for this kind of stuff. Like, that's the number one thing I would say. Don't go outside yourself. Just if it's part of what you're already doing, good. If it's not, don't just do it to get free XRP, because the bottom line is if it's not part of the plan, you're probably going to lose anyhow. So this is what they're offering. And this is the whole month of March. And it's a combined month of March. So 50 million in futures trading, you get 800 XRP. So that's like almost a $2,000 value. 1 million in trading, you get 20, and it goes on from there. There's the deposit rewards. How's the kitchen going? Pretty good. I can show you the current progress if you give me just a minute. And then I'll leave you guys your Sundays. Don't forget to give thanks to the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ here, on this most holy of days. I think it's very important that we remain humble. We show humility, and you know, we keep a level head. I really do. I think it's important to keep a level head. Let's see. I need to save these. Okay, so that one, I'm just gonna send it to my email. I've only got 2 pictures right now, so I know some of you seen from the demoing and stuff like that. I guess I should show you. I know the audience has seen some of it. But I don't have a very big kitchen. I have like I live well below my means and I like it. I bought Julie's grandma's house when we decided to move, when we finally were starting to do a little bit better after moving out of our trailer and whatnot. Um, and it's been a long time coming. Why isn't this picture loading? I don't know what's going on. One of them won't load, but anyhow, I think, although that's an important one because you can see the before and after. But anyhow, I'll just show you the new part of it. The new part right now. And then most people will probably leave, but that's okay. Some of you want to know, so I'll share it. Well, let's hope XRP does couple here to this area and bounce back up, because it's going to be a pretty dramatic move if it doesn't hold this area. And like I always say, I don't really want to see this kind of a dramatic move by crypto, because then the audience gets slaughtered. And not just that, I lose money too, because well, I guess it depends, because if you're looking for a specific particular area, I guess you could look at it as a zero sum there too, but so that one will not download, so I'm gonna have to pull it from Julie's. Yeah, hers. I don't know why that picture is not downloading. That's okay. I guess it's not that important if it doesn't want to download the one picture. So I'll just show you what it looks like now, and you'll see a couple from before too. Oh no, there it is. Perfect. Just took a second. Okay, so I'm gonna go into my email. I just sent it to my email. So that was when they were doing the demo. That's from the demoing. And then the floor with the demo, this is what it looked like when they had it all pulled out. And now they made some progress. This is where we're at right now. So they made some progress. They moved my fridge to the other side. They got the cabinets in. This is the other side of the wall where you see me pointing. So that's where the oven's gonna go. We got a 36-inch commercial grade oven like the real chefs use, because we cook a lot in our house, even though we don't have a big kitchen. That little fan on the wall right there, I'm having them take out and refill that wall. That was put in the 50s. And I have a hood going over the top of there. So it's yeah, Sean, have a blessed day. I actually have to do the same because I'm not by my house, so I can't actually attend, but I'm gonna watch it. So, and that starts at 11 o'clock. So I've got about 50 minutes before that starts. And then after this, we got to do the carpets in the living room and the hallway. We're going to replace all of our doors. I'm gutting it. So, it's one of those things. Absolutely. I love cooking. I don't really like eating out, although not being home, it's made it hard because I've got to strategically eat out, and, it's getting to me a little bit. But it's, you got to make the best of your situation. But yeah, I agree. Me and Julie picked them all out together. We picked them out together, and we actually had similar taste and everything. So it actually worked out 100%. It worked out so much better than we thought, because we both actually picked out the same stuff. We had the same vision. Even the quartz countertop, like, I know they were a little more expensive, but like I said, my kitchen's 72 square feet. So, maybe a $25,000 job for my house would have cost like 60. Like in my dad's house, my job would have cost probably 70,000. His kitchen, I always make a joke, but it's like his office is like the size of my house. His office is bigger than my kitchen. So I could fit my whole house in like his living room. So like, I like living in this fashion. I don't like overly zealous stuff. I like living below the radar, and I like to, I don't need much. I didn't come from much, and I definitely don't need much. So I like to live the way I do, and then you can enjoy life a little bit more. It's a lot easier to be stress-free when you have no debt. Let's just put it that way. And yeah, there's always debt that comes in because you're fixing things. But the bottom line is, if you don't have a bunch of debt looming, it's a lot easier. Sure, I could sell my house and move into a big house, flaunt it on YouTube. People would think I'm this rich guy. I'd rather live the way I do, and I like it. So I'm XRP future millionaire. Get ready for the shit. And if you're looking at XLR, somebody brought it up. Next target to look at to try to make an opportunity here. And we're coming there very quickly. We got to come down to that exhaustion wick. And that looks like a bearish pennant. Like these look like bearish pennants that are starting to form here. Yeah, this is probably going to come back down to this 32 and see what happens. But we'll see. On Sundays, we've also experienced that quick reversal at times. So I'm not doing nothing yet. I'm just going to watch the market. It's in fear. I'm not doing nothing yet. It's been an hour and 15 minutes, so I definitely have to go. And Shane, are you still here? Fuck, I forgot about one of them. Shane, are you still here? I know you asked me about Corium. Oh, yeah, it's a very small kitchen. Tiny kitchen. My house was built in the 50s. Julie's grandma bought it. It was actually built for the mayor of Clawson, but he never, I don't think, actually moved into it. Julie's grandma bought it a few years later, the only owner. She passed it on. When she passed away, it got passed on to her aunt. Her aunt passed it on to her daughter, which was Julie's cousin. We bought it from her cousin. All the contract, it's crazy. It's crazy, but fortunately, through the company that I used, I found a handyman, and the rest of my work is going to be used by the handyman who's actually doing the majority of the work in the kitchen. And he's going to actually do the rest of my house at mostly cost and then the labor. So I can basically buy the parts and then he'll just do it. So it's going to save me probably half, you know, on the rest of my work. So I'm very fortunate that he came into, you know, our house when he did. Because I was looking, so I wouldn't have to go to a big company, but you know how it goes these days. Corium, believe it or not, has come all the way back down to our projection from so long ago. And this is the back test area. I remember when I had the big move up and everybody's like, are you going to buy it? I'm like, no, quite the opposite. I'm going to let it come through. And now it's down to that 11 cents. But remember, Corium never back tested this. So I always say this. They often, even if they have an overzealous breakout, if they don't back test the initial point, Corium's coming back to 6 cents, probably 7 cents. But this time around, I'm telling you, my portfolio is going to look a little different the next time around because I am going with ISO and IoT, but I'm also going to put priority on Corium and Solo this time around, like I did before when it's in the lowest of lows, because it's part of the XRP ledger, and because they're going to be part of the next point, and they got small circulating supplies. But this all looks super bearish right now. It's not going to hold this a lot. I think it's going to come probably down another 45%. If this is super bearish right now, even in the daily, that death cross being confirmed on this retest of the 200, that's bearish as fuck. Yeah, it might come back up to the 20-day real quick. I mean, you're talking a massive catapult. So, ladies and gentlemen, I got to go. But you know what I often do in times like this? When the market's down, we're all not sure what to do. We've been doing this since 21. So if you've been around, you've been around. And if you know, you know. Ladies and gentlemen, I know what time it is. Do you know what time it is? Ladies and gentlemen, the sunny days are here again. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. I wear glasses 'cause I can't see a motherfucking thing. Happy days. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. Oh, happy days. Oh, what a day. XRP will reign supreme. Let's just not get caught in the fun. Oh, we're gonna crash, and we did, and we will, and we won't, and we will, and we won't, and we are, and we am, and we can, and we will, and we are, and we are, and we will, and we will. Oh yeah. Stay true. Stay blessed. Strategic reserve. More like rug pull. Like seriously. So He's looking quite nifty today. I'm not sure what happened here, but he's looking okay. Kind of looks like the sunflower came to life. So my anticipation here is that, you know, expect the unexpected. When it's super red and everybody gives up, we need retail to fall out. We need retail on Monday when we come in. When I come in and do my job on Monday, you're just going to see me more today. But when I come into work on Monday, when I come on here, I want to say that retail has given up. Fear and greed's down to 15. And man, oh man, does it feel good because they're going to have an unexpected reversal. So that's what I want to do. Is it going to happen? I don't know. But I'm going to go. I'm going to enjoy time with the rest of the time I have here. Have a blessed day, everybody. And don't let your emotions dictate everything.